This is Greg with Walnut Ridge RV. Today we're going to be doing an orientation video on the Montana 3791 RD. So we'll start up here in the front of the coach. Of course, you have your pin box with your 7-way cable and your breakaway to hook up to your truck. Moving into this storage here, this is where your battery is going to be. The battery with the box over it. It's going to have, typically we'll put 2 deep cycle marine batteries on a lot of these fridges that are running with the battery power. So that'll all be under box. This also has, in here, if you look, you have a disconnect for the converter basically. So on these units, one of the ways you can shut the refrigerator off, since it doesn't have a physical on and off button, is you come in here and you flip this battery disconnect off, or off now, and that'll kill the converter or the inverter, and that way your fridge won't run if you don't want it to when you're unplugged. And I'll go over a little bit more on that when we get inside. Other than that, we do have the LCI leveling system on it. We have other videos on our page and on YouTube that explain this into more in depth, but this is a very nice leveling system for the coach. You also have 2 knobs in here. So you have 2 hydraulic rooms on the coach. The kitchen and the dining room, basically the slide outs are hydraulic. So what it means is they run off one button. So if you hold the button, both of them will come out one after the other. So if for some reason maybe you only wanted the off door side or the kitchen slide to come out, you could shut off the door side, and that way only one comes out, or vice versa. That way you don't always have to run out both if you're just running in there real quick to grab a drink out of the fridge. Inside here you have one of your LP tanks. You have 2 7-gallon tanks on these coaches. Both of them are full when you pick up from us. Inside here you have the regulator. This regulator works just like all the others. Basically you have a auto switch over function, so if you want to, you can leave both of your LP tanks on, and whichever tank you have this lever pointing at, either right or left, it'll draw off that tank first, and once that tank is empty, this will go red like it is now, and it'll automatically start pulling from that other tank. That way your fridge, or not your fridge, but if you have maybe your furnace running or something, it won't kick off on you. Or you can just leave one of them off, like I usually recommend, and that way if one stops working or it's out of LP, you still know you have one full tank left, and you can take that one off, go get it filled. Pretty simple. Inside this huge storage in here, this one does have the rollout tray on that side, which has the grill and the refrigerators, which we'll get to when we get over there. But in here we have the docking station. So starting at the top, we have a exterior shower, which you'll have a quick connect hose that'll plug into there. You have a winterizing system on this coach. So basically, the new way of winterizing is you just hook a hose into here, cut off a piece of hose, stick it into a jug of antifreeze. Make sure your water heater is bypassed, so that's on, and then your antifreeze winterized port is on. And then turn on your water pump and it'll start sucking from that hose, and then you can proceed to go to all your faucets, open them up until you get antifreeze coming out. Really nice way, that way you ain't got to track down the water pump or put antifreeze into your fresh tank. It's just a nice way of doing it. Below that you have your city water connection and also your fresh tank fill, so they both run off the same inlet. So if you want to use city water, you've got a full hookup site, just hook your hose into there, leave this lever into the normal flow position, turn it on and go. You have an unlimited water supply. If you want to fill up the tank when you first get somewhere to have a little extra backup water, or while you travel, do the same thing. Turn on the hose, flip that lever down, and it'll start to fill up the tank instead. There's an overflow at the back of the unit I'll show you. Once that starts shooting out water, you know it's full. Flip it back up, and then you can proceed to turn your water pump on and run like that. Below there you have a black tank flush for your toilet. So if you want to hook up a hose into this tank after you're done dumping it, make sure the valve is open, turn that hose on, and it'll shoot water in there and help clean out that that black tank. You have your gray and black handles down here. So you have a black tank, which like I said is your toilet. Gray tank here is for your bathroom sink and shower. And then you also have another one underneath the coach that's for the kitchen sink only. You got 2 low point drains here. That way you can always get any extra water out of the lines whenever you're done using the coach for, it's going to sit for a week or so. You have a battery disconnect. This is the actual battery disconnect, so this will kill power to the battery itself. The other one is just for the refrigerator. So whenever you park, you can turn that off. That way the small things inside the coach don't burn your battery up. Then you also have the key TV system in it. Like I said before, we do have other videos that explain this more in depth, but this basically feeds to all the TVs. That way if you had a standalone satellite, you don't have to have multiple drops going to each location. This eliminates the need for that. So it's a very nice system they have out now. Moving on, you have a 50 amp detachable power cord. It's about 30 foot long, so that should get you most places you're going to need to go. You have a furnace exhaust, just going to blow out hot air when you have your furnace running. I always recommend you have mud dauber screens to cover that up to prevent mud daubers, bees, and wasps from building nests in there and backing the squirrel cage up. Then you have your water heater. So they're putting 12-gallon water heaters in these units now, so it's electric and gas. You have your anode rod that you'll act as your drain plug. Put that in here, tighten it down to 1/16" socket. Unbypass your water heater from the valve inside that compartment there. Come out here, lift this valve up until it starts shooting out water. Once it does, the water heater is completely full. Shut it off. And then you can either turn on the electric, which you have a switch out here for that. So you flip this switch on, and then there's another electric switch on the inside, and both have to be on for the electric to run. Give it about an hour or so, and it'll heat up. You can also run it off gas. There's a switch on the inside. Just flip the LP switch, and it'll light. And they take a little bit less time to heat up. You can also run them both at the same time if you needed to for a faster recovery rate, or just to get hot quicker when you first get somewhere. And then you could shut the gas off and let the electric maintain it if you like. Get in there. The other gray tank valve I was talking about is right below here. You're going to have a valve right here. All of it's going to come out of this dump station here, so hook your hose up to that. Put it into the dump site where you're at. Pull the black first, wait till it's done, close it, then do your grays. That way you prevent any backwashing, and it helps clean out your tank with cleaner water. One big thing to always remember is to always make sure that your valves are completely shut before camping and using water, because these caps are watertight most of the time. So if it fills up in here and you go to take that cap off, you're gonna have whatever's in that tank coming back out at you. Let's see. Moving around back here, you have this thing on the wall here. This is the overflow for the fresh tank. So once you see this start pouring out water, your fresh tank is completely full. It says huge open storage back here, 4 doors on the sides of the coach. And then it's got the big back door with the storage solutions tray that pulls out. You can fit everything under the sun in this coach here. You don't get much more storage than that. This also has a hitch on the back. You needed that for any reason. It has LCI solid steps on it. Nice steps, flip up above. Those are actually mow rides, not LCI. So here you have the 2 outside refrigerators. And then this has the storage in the top. And then you also have an outdoor stove. Pretty simple. Spark igniters, runs off LP, so really nice to have. It all stores up nice and neat when you're done. It still gives you excellent storage here in the front. Plus with all that storage in the back, this is a really nice design they're doing on the new Montanas. Let's see, the only thing on the outside, of course it's got outside speakers. This has the new Domatic awnings that have, on the inside there's a light that slides into here. You turn it and it gives it its power, and it's basically just a light. They also make a fan and a Bluetooth speaker that you can purchase that'll hook into this track. We'll go inside. Quite a few things on the inside, but we'll start right here at the thermostat. Really easy to work. It's just got 3 buttons on it. You got your plus and minus for your temperature, and then the mode button will cycle you through. Cool, furnace, just has a heat pump, and then off. And if you go up here, you have your, this is a fan setting, so you can turn it to high or low for fan. If you're using the air conditioner or furnace, you want to leave it in auto or high. It's really simple to work. Down here, this controls the ceiling roof vent fan, exhaust fan. You can just turn that on. You can control the levels. So it's got 1, 2, 3, 4 for fan speeds. It has a rain sensor on it, so if you accidentally left it open and it started to rain, it'll sense that and it'll shut the lid automatically. Really nice. Let's see, back behind you is, it's gonna be hard to see, but you have the converter first, which of course has all your 15 amp fuses, and then all your 110 breakers. They're all labeled down here, so if you ever have something not working, this is the first place you'll want to check. All 15 amp, but then there's 4 25 amp fuses here. You want to carry those with you if you ever had no 12 volt power, no lights or anything, but you had your microwave and TV and things like that, you'd want to check these fuses. So always check the breakers. If something isn't working, they pop every once in a while. Below that, you have the Intellect vacuum system. So this has the floor mounted, so if you open that up, sweep into there, and there's also this. That opens up and there's a bag of attachments that stick in there, and then you have a hose with a crevice tool and things like that. And that all goes into a bag that's inside that storage. Above here you have the Furrion access point. If you wanted to go to furrion.com/access, you could purchase the separate router. That'll give you 4G and Wi-Fi extenders and things like that. The Samsung refrigerator they're putting in here, these are residential refrigerators, and they run off an inverter for 12 volt for when you're traveling. That's what I was saying. Outside, the only way to shut it off, if we were to unplug, it would want to use the battery power, is you flip that battery disconnect off, or you can flip the inverter off, which is just inside the storage, because there's no physical buttons on here to shut it off from the inside. This basically has a fridge level, which turns the temperature. You just keep putting it till you get the temperature you want. Same over here. You have power freeze to get it cold quicker, power cool to get it cool quicker. Then you have an ice maker on this unit, and you have an energy saver. If you're ever running on 30 amp and you wanted to free up a little bit of amperage to run something else, that'll help. Moving through here, you have a convection microwave, convection oven / microwave. They're pretty simple and they work just like any home microwave would. Furrion cooktop up here, you have a pretty easy. We don't have LP right now, but if you just turn it to the flame, sit there and light it, just hold the button until it lights, and then you can turn it down to the temperature you want and adjust the flame. Same thing with the oven. The ovens no longer have to be lit with a lighter. You can turn it, hold the button in. When there is LP, it'll eventually light. You'll hear it kind of whooshing in there, and you'll know it's lit. And it also has a timer on this side, which is pretty nice. Let's see, you have 2 of them in the coach with these pop-up sockets here. They fold down into the unit and pop down. You can lift them up, and that gives you 2 USB ports and 2 110 outlets. Up in the main room, of course, you have the TV. This TV comes down. Oh, it's on the left side. Where'd you go? It's in here, so if you wanted to lower the TV when you travel, you can do that. Keep it all the way down flush if you don't want the TV on. You raise it up when you want to use it. Switch on the side for lights. It has day-night shade blinds behind it, everywhere throughout the coach. Your radio is down in here. It's fairly simple to operate. It's Bluetooth. It's got auxiliary USB ports, You have different zones for like the inside and outside speakers you can cycle through. So Zone A, Zone B, and Zone C. C is outside, B is the speakers in like the bedroom and things, and then the Zone A is the speakers here, and you can control the volume on each of those individually, which is really nice. Fireplace down here, it's a 110 fireplace. Really nice. There's multiple buttons over here, and there's also a remote. You can change the temperature. You can have it on just a mode like this that just looks nice. It doesn't have any heat coming out. You can change the flame. You can turn it off. You have a timer. So it's a really nice system. They work really well as a backup. If you ever ran out of LP, you have at least a backup at 110 power fireplace. Got the electric chairs in it, which are really nice. They have buttons on the side that you can just push to open and close them. This also has a yeah, this one has heat and massage too, and lights. Really nice new theater seating they're putting in here. Alright, up in here, your bathroom's very simple to operate. You have another ceiling exhaust fan in here, which is controlled on the right hand side. Stainless sink. These doors, one thing you just want to remember, they tri-folding doors or sliding doors. You just always want to make sure that they are latched before you travel. So always make sure those are good and latched. One thing you want to put on your checklist. Toilet's all easy to operate. You just barely push on the foot lever to fill it up. All the way down flushes it. Got some storage in here. This is a sliding door now on these, which is really nice when you're going that way. And then in the bedroom, you have another TV. You have another thermostat in here, which will run the AC that's in this room and the fan. It will not run the furnace. Just so you know that, the furnace only runs off the front one up in the front. It's got under bed storage, huge closet back there with a shoe rack and a laundry bin in there too. Let's see. Not too much else back here. This is prep for a washer and dryer. So if you want to put a washer and dryer in there, you can. It's set up for it. Nice storage for your chairs. And then the last thing, sorry, it's right here, is the main monitor panel. So you're going to have switches in here for different lights. You have your monitor panel, which has, we'll tell you the levels in your tanks. So gray 2 is your kitchen sink, gray 1 is your bathroom sink shower, black 1 is your toilet, black 2 you're not using, and then your battery, and then your fresh tank if you are using that. Water heater for gas and electric. So like I said, just flip those switches on with the electric, make sure the other switch is on outside and let it heat up. Water pump if you are on the fresh tank system. And then you have tank heaters, which if you ever get caught in a colder climate, colder weather hits, you can turn these on and that'll help warm up the tanks so they don't freeze. Cap, safety, and porch lights, awning, ODS floods, which is your off-door side floods, and then your interior ceiling lights here. Then you have your 5 slide rooms, sorry. One of them are ran off, 2 rooms are ran off one switch. And then you have your awning, extend and retract, which is just the simplest. Pushing it in and out. Put it out as far as you can get it. If you can get it all the way out, great, but if you can't, that's okay. You can stop it wherever you want. When you roll it back in, just make sure it comes all the way in. Here, stop, and then you're good to go from there. Alright, I think that is about it in the Montana 3791. I think here. That's pretty much it, besides the fire extinguisher on the wall there, which of course you always want to make sure is safe and checked. Push that button down once a month just to make sure everything is okay. If it sticks and stays down, you want to replace it. So, this is Greg at Walnut Ridge RV. Hope you all enjoyed the orientation.